Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And what are we supposed to achieve by this? Complete operation must be preceded by the perfection of the natural instruments. We have three natural instruments: the physical body, the vital body and the mental body. The purification of this by these sadhanas. Next, all these things together, meaning whatever I have told in all these days, the Nishkama Karma, the Karma Yoga, the Raja Yoga, the Hatha Yoga, this and that, though not as yet the whole yoga, constitute already a much greater than the present normal consciousness. So the first benefit that Sri Aurobindo gives us, even if you don't enter into the integral yoga proper, even these sadhanas will take you to a greater level, even though you have not yet commenced the integral yoga. Next slide. A momentous question, however, arises as light grows. The question: through what medium is the divine Shakti to act in the human being? Is it to be always through the mind only and on the mind plane, or in some greater supramental formulation which is more proper to a divine action and which will take up and replace the mental functions? So these are the questions. We know the answers. Purify the mind. Let first the divine Shakti reflect in the mind, and slowly let the mind work for a new Vijnanamaya Purusha. So first is purifying the lower nature. Second is gathering knowledge so that the mind can work. And then let the divine Shakti drop into the mind, and let the divine Shakti formulate a new Vijnanamaya Purusha body. Those are the answers. Next. The mind, by its very nature, cannot render entirely, because mind is reducing analysis. Mind can understand anything only when you can divide it. That is why even in integral yoga, you are reading it separate chapters, dividing it into separate headings. So naturally, for the divine Shakti may utilize these lower nature, but certainly the divine Shakti has to formulate a new body. It has to get a new body, the Vijnanamaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Purusha. The mind can only reflect. It just can't grasp it. By the example of the sun as the Vijnanamaya Purusha and the mind as the bird flying in the Antariksha. The bird can be in the rays of the sun itself, but it can never enter into the sun. And that is where in Ramayana you give an example of Jatayu and Sampati. You know, both of them wanted to go to the Surya, Loka, and their wings started burning. So to save Jatayu's wings, Sampati went above and protected it. Meanwhile, its wings were burnt. So Sampati is higher mind, Jatayu is the lower mind in Ramayana. So everywhere you find this development in our scriptures. But then what did Sri Aurobindo did? He made it a science, not just a simple theory. What do you mean by science? If you follow the rules, you will get the same result. Whether Einstein or you follow the rules, you will get the same results. That is the role of Sri Aurobindo. Next. The fundamental nature of this supermind is that all its knowledge is originally a knowledge by identity. This is what you should understand. And oneness. These two in Raja Yoga are known as Samadhi and Sanyamana. Samadhi is you are identified with the object you are seeing. A physical samadhi, I gave you an example, is seeing the movie. As you are going in a real good movie, what happens? You forget yourself. Only the movie is there, the object is there, the seer is not there. That is samadhi. The oneness, entering into it. You understand the difference. You are seeing the hero on the screen, but you are not aware that you are seeing the hero. You are just flowing with it. That is samadhi. But suppose you become one with the hero. You can understand the difference. That is oneness. This is Sanyamana in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and this is identity. This is what we should practice. Identity, later becoming Sanyamana, oneness. And when these two come, it means that the supramental descent has been done. But suppose you enter into the samadhi and the oneness is not felt, then what happens? You go into a trance. Generally we mean samadhi, a trance state. So in the trance state you are able to feel it, but when you come back, again you are normal. Example, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's trances. So identity, samadhi and oneness. Sanyamana. Read those chapters in this book. You understand the significance of it, I am telling you, what you should aim at. Next. The second character of the Supreme Mind is its knowledge is real because it is a total knowledge. The knowledge we obtain from mind is unreal. It gives only your viewpoint. But in the supermind, oneness is the first criterion. The second criterion is the knowledge is total. You understand what I mean by total? Akhandam. This Akhanda is what Mother wanted in Akhanda Bharat. This totality. The totality of what? One who loves Hindu Dharma. Then mind cannot arrive at identity with the absolute, even, of course he is telling that by mind you cannot reach it. Whatever we are now discussing is only a reflection of the truth. We have not attained it. We should always remember. That is why I always shun to talk about Sat, Chit and Anand. Because when supermind itself is very difficult, trying to understand it is very difficult. But in this, he has molded and chiseled the words in such a way that if you go on reading those chapters, you are taken to that level, at least while you are reading it. Next. The third characteristic of supermind arising from this difference, which brings us to the practical distinction between the two kinds of knowledge, that is directly truth conscious, a divine power of immediate, inherent and spontaneous knowledge, an idea holding luminously our realities and not depending on indications and logical or other steps from the known to the unknown, like the mind, which is a power of ignorance. Clear? In mind, you start from the known and stepwise you go to the unknown. It is a gradation. Whereas in supermind, it is an instantaneous, spontaneous understanding of truth. And this is what I want you to remember when you read Sri Aurobindo's words. They have a spontaneous, integral meaning. Don't try to give a mind meaning to it. But it doesn't happen if you want to grapple it with mind, because then mind becomes powerful enough to get the illumination. But always you remember a spontaneous knowledge. And a spontaneous knowledge is a spontaneous knowledge. Just as Shakespeare says, a rose is a rose. Because it is a rose, therefore a spontaneous knowledge is a spontaneous knowledge because it is spontaneous knowledge. That's all. Next.